Harrison. There'll never be no comparison. You're live on the show. Sit back and have a listen. LDBC, this is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Boxing and MMA Show Live. This episode of the Coach Shelton Harrison Boxing and MMA TV show is brought to you by 78 Sports TV. 78 Sports TV, you go to that channel and he's going to ask you, if you don't like much, why watch my PG-13 channel? Okay, folks, here's the fight. Okay, here is the fight. Listen, man, this fight was an all-out war. Okay, this fight, the UFC, Dana White, they never fail to give us what we want. They just don't. That's entertaining fights. The whole fight card, to me, was competitive, man. But let's break this fight down. All right, man, round one. I gave the first round to Dan Henderson, man. Dan Henderson continued to catch Micheal Bipsing with these overhand rights. And I thought that Micheal Bipsing would kind of make an adjustment to it, man, after being hit and caught with those things early on, but he didn't make an adjustment. So Dan Henderson caught him, man, with a beautiful overhand right. Bipsing hit the canvas, and Dan Henderson commenced to whooping his ass all over. I mean, beating him with hammer fists, elbows. I'm talking about, man, doing whatever he had to do. But, man, Dan Henderson expended a lot of energy, man, trying to get those hammer fists off. He did. And what ended up happening was, man, it hurt him in round two. It hurt him. So Dan Henderson spent most of round two trying to catch a breath, man. He did. And he was moving around the ring. He was pretty much playing possum. And, Micheal Bipsing was getting his shots off. He was doing, Micheal Bipsing was throwing some beautiful head kicks to Dan Henderson. And I'm like, okay, when are you going to make an adjustment to those head kicks? But Dan Henderson just never really did. He ate them and kept going. But then I think about the last 30 to 35 seconds of round two, Micheal Bipsing was, launching an attack. Dan Henderson caught Micheal Bipsing with a beautiful overhand right and dropped Micheal Bipsing for the second time in the fight. And again, Dan Henderson commits to throwing all these hammer fists and all these elbows while Micheal Bipsing is on the ground. And then, Dan Henderson was winded. And you can tell, because when he came back into round three, man, the dude had no breath. I mean, he was pretty much playing in survival mode. And I gave Micheal Bipsing completely round three. So in my opinion, the fight was a draw. At the start of round three. At the end of round three, the fight was a draw. Round four, I gave that to Micheal Bipsing, man. Bipsing did a good job, man, of keeping the range, man. After he got dropped twice, he kind of did he did a better job of keeping the range, man. But he was still getting caught with these overhand rights. And I'm like, what is he, is he even going to make an adjustment? Is the guy going to move his head? Is he going to try to duck up under those or something, man? But he never tried to. And what was happening then, when Micheal Bipsing started becoming somewhat aware of the overhand right, then he would come in with his front kick to try to catch Dan Henderson off guard. So Dan Henderson started switching to southpaw, and he started catching Micheal Bipsing with these straight left hands. And so Bipsing had to kind of go back, man, to what he was doing, and he started getting caught again with the overhand rights. So I'm sitting there thinking, man, okay, Dan Henderson got a good strategy. The problem with this whole thing, man, is that Dan Henderson, he didn't have the cardio to actually execute his game plan. Because had that have been the case, man, I think Dan Henderson actually would have won this fight. That's my opinion, okay? I think Dan would have won the fight, but he just didn't have the stamina to actually do what he needed to do in this particular fight. Because his mouth was always open most of the time, man. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, you think, and Dan Henderson has kind of had stamina issues for a while, man, in his career. But you would think, being age 46, you would think that he would make that a staple point of his whole, game plan for this fight. But obviously, he didn't see any importance in it. So I guess, here's what happens when you don't train on that kind of thing. Round four, I gave that to Micheal Bipsing. I gave it to him. I thought he did a very good job of keeping the distance between him and Dan Henderson. And I think he did a better job in round four of avoiding a lot of those overhand rights. But he didn't do a good job of avoiding that straight left hand, because when Micheal Bipsing couldn't get that overhand right going, the straight left hand was another good weapon, man. I didn't think Dan Henderson, man. I didn't think he did enough leg kicks, man, to slow Micheal Bipsing down. I don't think he did. And the opportunity to get Micheal Bipsing with those low leg kicks, they were there. They were there because, he threw a few of them, and Micheal Bipsing didn't even do a good job of checking those kicks, man. He was just kind of letting them go. I'm like, oh, Dan Henderson can save some of his energy, man, and actually, kick that leg, man, kick that lead leg and slow him down. But he ain't do that either, man. So I was kind of like, okay, well, Dan Henderson pretty much going out on the shield. Round five to me was a toss-up. They both kind of landed some good shots in, and I kind of, if I had my way, I probably would have gave that to Dan Henderson round five, man. I mean, it was a good fight regardless. But those are the things that I saw within the fight, man. This is this is Dan Henderson's last fight. That's it, man. He's retired. And I'm sitting here looking at Micheal Bipsing, dude. A 46-year-old man took you to the wire, man. I don't know, man. I think Micheal Bipsing struggled. I'm not taking nothing away from Dan Henderson, but Micheal Bipsing was supposed to make this dude look and feel like a 46-year-old man in the octagon. And people, that's just the way that is. He was supposed to make. And I don't know, this fight was real close. Now, I thought that 46-49 was a little bit ridiculous, man. Like, good grief, man. One of the judges had this fight 46-49. I'm like, come on, man. What this judge smoking, man? Is this judge snorting some of that Tyson Fury cocaine? I don't know. Because, no, man, no. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this fight. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. What are you dudes waiting on? Subscribe. I'm done.